So another video on idiosyncrasies of things. I put in LED headlight bulbs, and I had already had LED fog light bulbs because I had replaced the bumper after hitting a deer, and now the fog lights won't work. So Googling it, I found that you need to put a resistor in line so that you fake out the system and it thinks it's got regular headlight bulbs in, so you're not saving any power, you're just getting a brighter light, because these are actually burning up power and wasting it to make the LEDs work. They don't send you screws to mount these things, and that's a tiny hole. I don't have a sheet metal screw that small. So what I'm going to try to do is use some lacing wire to tie it into some holes over here and keep away from my plastic, because it says it gets extremely hot. Right here they send you a note, don't mount it to plastic because it gets hot. So I do like the headlights, I can see better, and the reason the battery is out just makes it easier to work on, A, but B, I'll be covering that in another video or an extension to this one about buying batteries. These only lasted a year. And then there's a situation having to replace the water pump, which is a lot of fun since I had already done a fan clutch. So my solution, because the screw holes were so small, was baling wire to metal front frame. It's not, or tie wire. Up north we'd probably call it baling wire. So I'm about ready to wrap up this video. I'm putting in these resistors for the LED lights. And one thing I wanted to point out is seems like they make these connectors to last for about 5 years, and then once they're out of warranty they start breaking. So anyway, this is one way to deal with it, zip tie it together. So that's the extension piece that plugs into the headlight, which is right there. And then what I did with these resistors, because the screw holes are too small to put a decent screw in, and you're not supposed to put them on plastic, I used tie wire and put them on. That's a aluminum line, probably for the power steering or transmission cooler, I don't know which. Anyway, I'm in a quandary as to make this video just on the getting the LED lights working right, or including the batteries, and I think I might include the batteries. So what I'm going to show you is before, when my fog lights wouldn't work after I put in LED lights. If you found this information useful, or at least entertaining, please like or subscribe so the search engines can make it available for other people to either help or entertain. Thank you. So what I'm going to show you is before, when my fog lights wouldn't work after I put in LED lights. Oh, maybe they're not going to work without the ignition on, I don't know. Yeah, that was it. You have to have the ignition on for the fog lights to come on. So anyway, these are aftermarket headlights, but I had the standard bulbs in them, and when I replaced the bumper and the fog lights from a deer hit, the fog lights always worked. Then I put LED lights up in these housings, and had the fog lights, sometimes they'd work, most times they didn't. The indicator light on the dash would work, but not the fog lights. So you got this little indicator right here that shows they're supposed to be on. And then when I turn the headlights on, my dash bright lights would come on. The fog lights still wouldn't come on, but the LEDs would come on, the headlights. So there you are. now they're working after I put these resistors in, because I went to Professor Google and it said that what happens is there's not enough resistance, and so the computer thinks there's a fault, and somehow that screws up the works. Then to continue, we were gone for a week, came back, and the truck wouldn't start. These are glass mat batteries. It seems that I've had this truck for 7 years, and I buy 3-year regular lead acid batteries from Walmart, and they last 3 years, 1 month. So I did the math, and these are glass mats batteries. They have a 4-year warranty on it, and they cost more, but per year they would cost me less if they lasted 4 years, right? So I had these batteries in here 11 months, and I had a shorted sellout on one. I had to go back to Walmart, and after 4 hours, 4 calls for a manager to approve the warranty, they finally replaced it, because under a year it's a full replacement. The interesting part to that is my nephew, who had a Walmart battery, which was just a year old, had one die on him too. In my conspiracy theories, I think there's a chip inside these things, and it's timed, but they must have had some defective ones. Anyway, that's just a theory. I was going to make this video shorter by breaking up the 2 subjects. So let me know in the comments, because I'm a skimmer, so I'm for fast information. And my wife's a reader, so she'll read the whole book. I got a mat coming for underside of the hood. I thought maybe they just made them without the mat in them. But I found one on eBay for about $35, so maybe I'll cover the installation of that. I'm hoping to make the truck a little quieter. Diesels are notoriously a little clangy. And if I remember, I'll do a video on a water pump, which should be arriving today. Next thing that has to be fixed.